So UFC 202 went down Saturday night, just this past weekend, August 20th, at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
We're going to get right into the meat of the main card, and it started off with a welterweight bout between Tim Means and Saba Hamasi. Means is a cagey veteran. Hamasi is a strong up-and-comer, and it was a good contest to start the main event off.
Mm-hmm.
Means is coming off a 6-month suspension by the USADA. He wound up taking a tainted supplement, and unlike most fighters who say they've taken a tainted supplement, I actually think Tim Means took a tainted supplement.
Oh, GNC.
You can't go to GNC. You can't go to the vitamin shop.
No.
You can't take shit out of a big bottle.
And expect it to be USADA
compliant. No.
Compliant.
So what I believe happens was Means said he bought some creatine, was taking it, and he got flagged for something that was not creatine. I don't know what the substance was that he was flagged for. He calls USADA in, and he says, look, this is what I've taken. I appealed this, you got to test this stuff. So they test his batch, they go buy a batch at whatever store they buy at. Both batches come up with the same prohibited chemical. So Means received a 6-month suspension rather than a 2-year suspension. And this was his first fight back. And
great showing.
He came back and gave a great showing.
Yeah.
He worked really, really nice elbows in the clinch, threw good knees, and just overwhelmed Hamasi the whole fight.
Yeah. He got the TKO stoppage in the second round.
Yep.
It was a great fight. He really just showed his versatility in striking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you'll see with guys who are really rangy that when they get in clinch range, they can throw elbows like other fighters will be able to throw punches.
Yeah.
And Means connected with a couple really nice elbows. I believe he cut Hamasi right above the hairline. Patient, aggressive approach, and he got his man out of there midway through the second round. Welcome back, Tim Means. Good to have you back in the cage.
Great start to a great card, I gotta say.
Absolutely.
So going into the second fight of the card, we have
Mike Perry in his UFC debut versus Hyung-Gyu Lim. And this was not the result that I expected.
Me neither.
Not at all.
I was really hoping for Lim to pull out a victory. I mean, did you see the size difference between the two?
Yeah, Lim looks like he's 2 weight classes up.
Yes, and Perry seemed real cocky and arrogant going into this fight.
Perry seemed uber douchey at the weigh-ins, faking a handshake, pulling the hand away, like posturing up, screaming at Lynn.
Just being a loser.
The kind of thing that you expect a fighter who's about to get knocked out to do.
I was really hoping for the knockout. I mean, you just saw them. You saw them in the octagon standing away from each other, and it was just like giant versus midget. I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Like this was the fight to make Mike Perry drop down to lightweight, is what it looked like.
Yeah.
Perry's 5'9". Welterweight is a land peopled by giants right now.
Yeah, Lim's what, 6'3"?
He's 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
But you look at him and he's got this spider-like reach, long arms, long limbs, solid frame, and Perry looks like a strong guy who's 5'9".
Yeah, but the whole story of this fight is Lim just made several mistakes leading in with his chin up. And that's when he left himself open for Perry's very strong shots that were able to knock him down several times and eventually...
Lim was unable to recover.
Yeah, he was able to recover a couple times.
Not that third.
But that third, it was like the third or fourth.
It was the third knockdown. And Lim came in straight up and down.
Yeah.
Perry hit him with an overhand. And
just a bad game plan.
Terrible.
If it was his game plan, I don't know.
Terrible stance. Just a miscalculation. If you're a tall fighter and you fight with your head up like that, you get clipped, you're going down.
Yeah, so it was just... it was so sad. And then Perry, just him talking.
Yeah, talking.
He's from Michigan, and I know several people from Michigan, and they all have like that Midwest accent. He's like, "You, what's up, son?"
He came from the latest
that?
Kid Rock concert straight into the octagon.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
who talks
keeping
like
it classy, Mike Perry, but powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, he dropped a very highly regarded opponent.
Did, yeah. So impressive showing, not impressive otherwise. Outside of the octagon.
It was his first fight. Maybe he was amped up for it. We're going to see. We'll see how
hopefully he's not a super douche
next
time because, he did put on a good fight, so props to him.
Yeah, he's got some power in his hands.
Yeah.
Now, the third fight on the main card. Another welterweight bout. This one between Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
Cowboy!
And Rick the Horror Story.
Babyface!
He really... He does look like a 14-year-old boy with the body of a powerlifter. It's crazy. Yeah. Both fighters that I really like.
Yes, me too.
And Rick Story has been experiencing a small career renaissance. His past 3 fights, he's looked great. He's been fighting smart, tactically, aggressively. Like, really solid performances. And Cowboy has taken, this fight included, his last 3 fights will have been at welterweight.
Yeah.
Now, Cowboy's first welterweight fight was against Charles Cowboy Oliveira, who also fought at lightweight. So it wasn't...
Nice segue into...
It was a good lead into
welterweight.
it, yeah. Cowboy's second fight at welterweight was against Patrick Cote, where Cowboy put on one of the most brilliant tactical fights I've ever seen out of him. Yeah. Round 1, took Cote to the ground, wore him out. Round 2, attacked the body, went to the head.
Beautiful game plan, executed perfectly.
And third round, he started looking for that head. And it seemed to me, I was like, now he's chasing the head. He's going to lose the momentum. But he put Cote away. I don't think anybody's ever stopped Cote before. Or TKO'd him, rather. So,
yeah. So, Cowboy's on a roll.
Yeah, at welterweight.
Yeah.
And you see these guys frame up. And Story is the thicker, bigger guy. And I believe he had a sizable strength advantage in this fight. Cowboy he took him down in the first round. I think he was looking for that same Cote game plan, but he couldn't keep Story down. Cowboy's groundwork became defensive. Story popped back up. And the first round, it looked to me like Cowboy was having a trouble with the strength of Rick Story.
He's a strong guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point,
Makes
Story
sense.
had Cowboy pressed against the cage. It was looking like he was going to start unleashing some of those vicious meat hook body shots he throws.
Yeah.
Cowboy was able to get out of there.
Yeah.
And in the second round, how beautiful was that combo? Cowboy hit Story with one of the most picture-perfect striking combos I've ever seen. I think Story threw to the head, Cowboy slipped it, and it was a body shot that...
Yes, which the camera angle, they had one camera angle where they showed the back of Rick Story, and Cowboy, when he hit that body shot, and you see the impact of it on his back. It was like, boom!
I mean, Cowboy put that shot
it was crazy.
Through Story's midsection. I think he came back with the left, finished with a high kick, and Story was on his way out from there. I mean, he tried to defend, dropped to his knees.
Body shots like that just hit the right way. They just take everything out of you from what we've seen. They just make you drop to the ground.
It fucking hurts. And it's not like Story's a weak guy. Even at when the decision was being read out, Story looked like he was still in pain from that shot.
Yeah,
So, look, it looks like Cowboy is in the welterweight division to stay. He's there. He's ready to become a contender, and he says, nope, I want to fight Eddie Alvarez. He says, I got some business at 55, and calls out the lightweight champ, Eddie Alvarez.
Cowboy can do that.
Yeah, Cowboy can.
Yeah.
And what
he's on a crazy win streak.
This is 11 out of his last 12 fights. Yeah. Victorious.
The only person he lost to was RDA.
And he got caught. I mean, RDA swarmed him. He couldn't recover. But aside from that, Cowboys looked real good.
Yeah.
And what Cowboy said was that the UFC told him, stop saying you'll take any fight anytime, anywhere. Why don't you tell us who you want to fight? So that's what he did. He told the UFC. He wants a crack at Alvarez, and he wants that lightweight strap.
And you know what? I want to see that. Right?
I would like to see it.
I would love to see that. I mean, it's kind of a big FU to Nurmagomedov, but you know.
Yeah, well,
I want to see Khabib get his title shot. Yes, I do. But I really want to see Cowboy versus Alvarez.
Cowboy's in a position now though, where Cowboy's he's looking so good at welterweight.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That I almost want to see him keep fighting at welterweight to see how far he can take this
thing. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, I just want to see Cowboy fight, so whoever he gets, I want to see him get a title shot. He's well deserving of a title shot.
I would watch Cowboy fight for the title for sure. In the past,
just because he's so exciting to watch and he's such a great fighter, so I'd love to see him get that redemption and get that win.
Yeah, it has eluded him, but he hasn't always been selective in his fights in the past. He's come into fights hurt. He's taken too many fights.
Yeah, he's insane.
If Cowboy is able to temper that drive to fight with smarter fight choices, I think he could be a champion.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, we'll see. I'm sure we'll see Cowboy fight a couple more times before the end of the year.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the co-main event, which if you blinked, you missed it.
13-second fight.
Anthony Rumble Johnson versus Glover Teixeira. Now, before we even get into the fight, which we're going to be talking about the fight longer than the fight ran, I just want to say kudos, matchmakers.
Yeah.
In the light heavyweight division, you decided to have a co-main event on a pay-per-view card, number 1 versus number 2.
Yeah, it worked out, and
matchmaking at its finest. And we were saying this before, and it delivered.
It delivered the expected result, a knockout, but
which we were calling for.
Everybody was calling.
We're showing this footage of when we were watching the fights. The fight companions, I'm like, I saw Teixeira come out, and it was before Rumble even came out, and I'm like, Teixeira's gonna get starched early. I mean, it just Rumble's a beast.
He's a beast.
No knock on Teixeira. Teixeira's an excellent fighter. Well, that's the thing.
So. I was picking Rumble to win, but in the back of my head, I'm like, I've written Teixeira off a couple of fights before, and he always puts on a really solid performance for the win.
Yeah.
So I really didn't know. I was like, is he going to be able to weather a Rumble storm and catch him? Because Teixeira could catch you too. He caught Evans, put him out a minute 47 in the first round.
But Rumble had a game plan. He was talking about that uppercut, which he hit Teixeira with, and that's what knocked him out. He said he doesn't really watch a lot of the fighters' tape.
He doesn't watch too much tape on his opponents, which I don't understand.
He watches enough to know what he needs to do, and he said that he was working on that uppercut, and that's what he thought he was going to hit him with. I mean, hindsight is 20/20. Who knows if that's really what the game plan was, but it sounds pretty solid. I mean, that's what he did.
And he was obviously looking for it. It was one of the first power strikes he threw. So I
mean, well executed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Performance of the night bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved. Just a side note, Cowboy Cerrone also got a performance of the night bonus.
Yeah, for showing against Rick Story.
Yeah, definitely well deserved as well. But so now, if the matchmakers are still on point, it's Rumble versus Cormier for the light heavyweight title.
I don't see how you don't make that fight, even if Jones is cleared to fight sooner than he thought he would. Rumbler in that rematch, Cormier says that's the fight he wants. I think, ironically, Jones would have to be put on a back burner if he came back. I think you have to let that Rumble and Cormier fight take place.
13-second knockout to the number 2 light heavyweight contender.
It works with the ranking system. He did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
That's the fight to make. Cormier versus Rumble for the light heavyweight title. And it would be a good rematch.
I'd love to see it. Rumble said the fight would go very differently. He's already been in there against Cormier. Maybe he has a better game plan.
He would go in more composed. He was amped up for that first fight. He was rigid in there.
Rumble can knock anybody out. Except Cormier so far. So we'll see his knockout power, and we'll see how Cormier's chin's been holding up.
Well, the thing is, Cormier has been in there with heavyweights. He's fought the biggest heavyweight hitters. No one's knocked him out. I mean, Nelson couldn't knock him out. Bigfoot couldn't knock him out. Barnett couldn't finish the job. Cormier's chin is heavyweight caliber. Now, Rumble's striking is heavyweight caliber, but I think this time around, I think this time around, if he connects and he doesn't drop Cormier or Cormier pops back up,
he can't get frustrated.
It's not going to mess with his head. I think he will have a more calculated approach, and we'll see if the result's different.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so excited. Anthony Rumble Johnson, humble in victory, humble in defeat.
Yeah,
that's something that someone else said, but this actually applies to him.
He was an arbitrator. I don't know. He was a good representative of MMA this whole fight week.
He's so likable.
Pre and post fight. Yeah.
Just in general.
Did a really good job just to be a great sportsman.
Yeah, so I want to see him fight more. He's totally marketed himself to the point where how could you not want to see him fight? How could you not want to see him succeed?
He looks like a terrifying
destroys
motherfucker
people.
In there.
And then he's like,
and then he congratulates them on their performance.
And he thanks them.
And I think he means it. It's crazy.
He totally means it. He just seems real genuine to me. So, I don't know.
We'll find out.
We'll find out if he actually gets his title shot.
Yeah.
So, come on, matchmakers. We're counting on you to do the right thing. All right.
Moving on.
Yes.
To the most highly anticipated fight of the year to date. The rematch between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. Once again at welterweight. 5 rounds. No title on the line. A money-weight fight.
By the way.
Yeah.
Welterweight was on McGregor's terms.
And this, I don't know if McGregor believed himself when he said he was going to knock Diaz out in the first round this time again.
Absolutely not.
It didn't look like it. It looked like McGregor came into this rematch and had worked specifically on fighting Nate Diaz.
And winding the clock down.
And had planned on going the distance.
And running the clock out. But we'll get to that.
What we got was an incredibly close fight.
So close. It really could have went. Diaz said it himself. He was holding on to these half-assed takedowns, not really committing to them, and that kind of didn't go in his favor. He should have been just unleashing his hands, which at one point the fight was almost stopped.
Third round he let his hands fly, but I think in the judges' eyes, the 3 knockdowns by McGregor clearly cemented the first 2 rounds for him.
Absolutely.
And I think McGregor took the 4th round also.
That's where it was the 3 rounds that he got.
Yeah. Both fighters said that they felt like they won 3 out of the 5 rounds. Both fighters felt that way.
But you know what? Honestly, could have went either way.
I think the correct decision was made.
Win.
I think McGregor won the fight.
Now, if there were stalling points, penalty points, it could have went to Diaz's favor.
I don't think McGregor was stalling. I think he was fighting tactical.
He was trying to conserve his energy, but I know you are okay with this. I was not okay with him turning his back and running away 7 times.
Because he turned his shoulder, not his back, and it was 3 times.
It was more than that. And I just think that was such a stall tactic because he didn't have the gas.
He didn't have but also he didn't want to be in there with that clinch of Diaz. If you look at the clinch work, Diaz controlled the clinches, and in the 3rd round, he nearly finished in the clinch.
Yeah, to the point where...
But to the judge's eyes, those cleaner, longer strikes of McGregor registered more. Diaz hanging up on McGregor and threatening the takedown, popping some shots in, it doesn't really look as good as a left uppercut or a straight left drop in your man.
That's where Diaz lost the fight, and that's where McGregor won the fight. So, it was a great fight. I just didn't like the whole stalling tactics by McGregor, which you don't think are stalling tactics, but, let's agree to disagree or whatever.
I just feel like both fighters came in and were on a pretty even level in terms of what they could do to each other, and the guy who had the better game plan for the fight and executed his game plan better won. I mean,
and one thing that I love that McGregor keeps saying is, I fought a bigger man.
Yeah, but McGregor's saying Diaz was 190 pounds.
No, he says things a lot that aren't true, and he says them over and over again, and
until people think they're true.
Yeah, which is weird. persuasion
it's not weird.
tactics.
It's a tactic.
It's persuasion tactics.
Yeah, he's trying to persuade people to thinking the way he wants them to think.
Yeah, which, whatever.
You can't take away from him.
Diaz is a 155er. McGregor's a 155er.
Should be.
And that's it.
Diaz made the point, he said, I fought almost my whole career at lightweight.
Yeah,
now
what is
I
he
beat
talking
McGregor
about?
and suddenly I'm this massive heavyweight fighter dropping down to fight a smaller guy. Not really.
No, McGregor's the one that drops down
to fight
smaller guys, because that's where his knockout power is the best.
Yeah,
he can knock out featherweights.
Yeah, people can't stand
Absolutely.
him. Holloway could, but nobody else could.
Yeah, but Holloway's crazy.
But if you use McGregor's logic that it was Diaz's bigness that stopped him from being taken out, by that logic, a lot of McGregor's victories look less impressive because he was just a lot bigger.
A lot bigger.
I mean, I'm sure
so he's kind of
he's
shooting
thought
himself
of this
in the foot.
logical avenue. I think he doesn't care, though. I think he's just going to repeat that Diaz was bigger. He wants a third fight at 55. I'd like to see the third fight at 55.
I'd like to see him defend the belt at featherweight
This
or
is what's
drop
nuts.
the belt at featherweight.
Now, at the post-fight press conference, Conor McGregor was talking crazy talk about how he does not want to go back down to 45 and fight Aldo. Now, a couple problems with this. One, Conor McGregor is the 145-pound champion.
Who has yet to defend his title, which it's been over a year since he got the title.
Yeah. Jose Aldo is the 145-pound interim champion. Now, if McGregor wants to take any fight at featherweight, it has to be a fight against Jose Aldo because you've got to unify those titles. Now, if he doesn't want to take a fight at 45, he's got to give up his title because he's healthy, he's active, he is just refusing to fight in the division that he holds the title in.
Yeah,
holding up the entire division.
And him saying all this stuff about Jose and how he doesn't want to fight him.
He's not,
and all this.
Not exciting to him.
All he's trying to do is stall because he wants to have the featherweight title and he wants to try and get the lightweight title. Is what I'm guessing from, we got big things in the works and blah, blah, blah.
And obviously he wants the lightweight title as well.
Of course.
You know, he had that match lined up with RDA and it didn't work out well for him. If he had gotten that match, he might have been a 2-division champion. That would have been crazy for him.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
But I mean, he just wants to hold 2 belts is what I'm guessing. But it's like, how impressive is that you're holding on to a belt that you have yet to defend, and you've been holding on to for over a year. You had a loss in the time that you had the belt. I mean,
your rematch, you squeaked by with a victory.
Squeaked by with a victory.
Go back to your division. Fight the interim champion. Unify the belts. I mean, if it seems like it's not going to be that tough, just do it.
Yeah,
Take
who
the
cares?
fight. Beat Aldo again.
Yeah, beat him in 10 seconds.
Move up to 55.
Yeah.
On the back of another victory over Jose Aldo, they would give him a title shot at 55.
Absolutely.
There's no reason for him not to take that fight unless he's saying he doesn't want it as a marketing tactic. I don't think he's scared of Aldo. I just don't think he's given enough respect to the title that he holds. Yeah.
Yeah, he's totally disrespecting the featherweight title.
Defend your title.
He's saying, oh, without him, it's a prelim, the title. No.
45's full of killers.
UFC 200's... was it the co-main?
Yeah. Edgar Aldo.
Yeah, Edgar Aldo was the co-main, right? Or was Cormier Silva?
Lesnar.
Lesnar.
Lesnar Hunt was the co-main.
Anyway, it was...
Edgar Aldo should have been the co-main at UFC 200.
But it was a great fight, and it sucked to see Edgar lose. So
convincing.
He got worked for 5 rounds, but it was great to see Aldo back
to form.
Yeah,
like he never skipped a beat.
Yes, and he will not make the same mistake that he made in the first fight with McGregor. So we'll really see.
And from a marketing perspective, you can sell that fight.
Oh my gosh, they actually hate each other.
As the man obsessed with getting his vengeance after this humiliating defeat, and McGregor as, this guy sitting back and lording it over Aldo like granting him a title shot. You could sell that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing that this is just coming from Aldo. Aldo said on Twitter or somewhere, I saw a quote that, calling out McGregor, if you don't fight me at 205 or 208 or I don't know what he was calling him out at, a card coming up, you need to drop that belt. Now, Aldo's an amazing fighter. He was an amazing champion, undefeated for 10 years. But he was not a very active fighter. He's never been a very active fighter. McGregor's a very active fighter. You can't demand someone when you're not so active to fight in a couple months after he just had 25 minutes of getting brutally beaten.
Yeah, that last fight was rough.
Yeah.
I don't think Aldo's in a position to be telling anybody that they need to relinquish any belts.
Yeah, no.
But Aldo has also said, but Aldo has also said he'd fight McGregor in a parking lot. He doesn't. He just wants to fight him again.
Yeah, which, okay, I understand that, but you can't be saying, you have to fight in a couple months, no. So I didn't agree with that, but I really do think that Aldo deserves his shot, and it should be relatively soon. McGregor needs to heal up,
for the sake of continuity of belts. If the UFC wants to keep value in their belts, they have to make that fight to unify.
Yeah, and if they don't, then McGregor should go to the weight class he belongs at, which is lightweight, which is what Diaz normally fights at.
Yeah, and relinquish his 45-pound title.
Yeah, so with that, I have to say, in closing, great card.
Really good card.
That last fight, by the way, was fight of the night.
Yeah, Diaz, McGregor,
it was a great fight. If you could take out, no fight's perfect, but if you could take out Diaz's half-ass takedown attempts, and if you could take out McGregor's...
It was the shoulder roll defense. Shoulder roll defense.
Running away, shaking his ass. If you could take that out, it would be, in my opinion, it would be a fight of the year.
Candidate for fight of the year, could be.
Yeah, but, it was an amazing fight nonetheless.
So we got quick knockouts, we got tactical battles. All around, there were no bad fights on this main card.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah.
Anthony Johnson said slightly strongly that compared to UFC 200, this card made 200 look like trash. I don't know if I would go that far, but this was a seriously strong card.
Yeah, there was a lot of great fights in 200, but there was also a lot of... Yeah. But, yeah, 202, great card. Have to say.
Notable moments from the undercard and from the Fightpass Prelims. Lorenz Larkin destroyed Neil Magny's fucking leg.
Yeah, and that was the Fightpass Prelims.
Yes. Larkin...
he looked amazing. He was just on point, game plan executed perfectly.
Larkin
Magny's
targeted a body part and just...
Which he does.
He does. He targets that leg and worked it until Magny couldn't even hide the amount of pain he was in. He could barely stand on his leg.
He was like...
Larkin cut his own leg open. He was bleeding profusely from the shin just off the strength of these leg kicks he was throwing.
And that really rattled... It visibly rattled Magny.
That guy was in pain.
But... Your leg is killing you. You're not thinking about your head.
Down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he definitely executed an amazing game plan. Larkin has looked better than ever. And
yeah, I would say
I really thought Magny was going to win. So,
I've been calling Magny as a future title contender.
Yeah.
I don't think Magny is diminished to me anyway by this fight, but Larkin's stock just soared on the back of that performance.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. Larkin is... I always thought he was a great fighter and had great, leg kicks and things like that, but after seeing that performance...
This was another level.
Wow.
This was up there with, Barbosa throwing leg kicks, Aldo versus Faber leg kicks.
Yeah.
This was gnarly.
He put so much power into all of his strikes that I was worried that if he wasn't... Because Magny's very tough. Yeah. We've seen him weather early storms. Mm-hmm. didn't know what his gas tank was going to do to him in the second round, especially with that cut on his shin. If it went into the second and third round, who knows what could have happened. If Magni could have recovered, because Larkin was putting so much power into his...
Yeah, Magni was looking to take the fight to the ground also, and if Magni could have gotten it to the ground, the effects of those leg kicks would have been diminished a little. Magni could have grappled, but Larkin didn't give him a chance. No chance.
Yeah, so that was a great fight. Definitely check that out. If you have Fight Pass, I'd recommend that. If you just saw the main card like we did at first.
Yeah, all the fights on Fight Pass were great. Covington's great. I mean, it's worth watching.
Definitely check him out. And then we just want to briefly talk about another big fight, and this was the FS1 prelims. Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, Garbrandt versus Mitsugaki in the bantamweight division.
Yeah. Cody Garbrandt is
10-0 now.
10-0. He is a knockout machine. Yeah. And he's got a sick neck tattoo. So
yeah, he's got the sick neck tattoo.
He's got the look. He's got, I mean, they really want to market him if they have any sense of
marketing.
They should really market him and really give him a nice boost title run to the top.
I think they've been giving him a push, and I think next for him is either going to be a fight with Dillashaw, or an immediate shot with Dominic Cruz. Cruz said he wants to fight him. I'm sure Dillashaw
Cruz
would fight
knows
him.
Who he is now.
Yeah. I'm sure Dillashaw would fight him just on the strength of the bad blood between Team Alpha Male and TJ Dillashaw. They could bill it as a grudge match. I don't know if he has the skill level to take out Dominic Cruz.
No.
He hits really fucking hard. But if you could find the target, can you find the target on Dominic Cruz if you're fighting him? If you hit Cruz, you don't hit him clean.
No. You hardly hit him. And so that's like a very, very big factor if Cody Garbrandt could not get flustered.
And it would be a 5-round fight.
Absolutely.
We don't know what his gas tank's like, for a title fight.
He'll be putting a lot of power into his shots, and Cruz won't be there to receive the shots.
He would be.
His footwork is just crazy.
Energy.
So.
Would it be a quick title shot? Yeah, I think so. Garbrandt's 10-0 now, but
they need to give him a top 10.
His belt. I think the TJ Dillashaw Garbrandt fight makes sense, and the winner would get another crack at Cruz.
But TJ Dillashaw is kind of due for another title shot because it was a split decision victory, and he just won his last fight.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Garbrandt.
Yeah, I mean, for the fans, let's see that. Let's see that bad blood, get worked out.
Yeah, it was a split decision victory or Cruz won via split decision.
Yeah, but I don't care what Cruz says, ring rust. Come on now.
Ring rust is real.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think the Dillashaw-Garbrandt fight would be the best fight for the fans, and then you have a sellable fight with whoever wins versus Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, so definitely check that fight out. You could probably go on Instagram and see it because it's under a minute that he knocks out Mitsugaki.
Catch the highlights.
Yeah. And then we just 2 more fights that we want to talk about really quick. Rocky Pennington, decisive victory for her. She's now number 8.
Yeah, good for Raquel Pennington.
Yeah, she's a good fighter.
Gordy Casey gets a victory over Randa Marcos.
That's a big victory for her. She got a late sub victory in the first round with 25 seconds.
Yeah, 25 seconds remaining in the first round,
which is crazy because Marcos' ground game
is good. And Marcos has name recognition in that division. So Casey brought her standing up big time with that victory. Yeah,
so congratulations to her. A couple other good fights, but we can't go over them all, people.
You don't want to listen to us talk for an hour.
No!
2 notable things that happened in this event. Takeya Mitsugaki attempted to single leg the ref after getting dropped by Garbrandt, and Glover Teixeira completed the double leg on Dan Miragliotta after getting dropped by Anthony Johnson.
Yeah, that's when you know you really knock somebody out, when they have no idea what's going on. They think the fight's still on, and they see those legs in front of them, of the ref, and they're just shoot for the takedown.
And that's
which
also
shows you a true fighter.
A mark of a fighter.
Yes.
You're out of it. The first thing that happens, you snap to, is you think, takedown, recover.
Yes, so
I don't know. I'm sick. I was
mad
like,
props to
Teixeira
and Mitsugaki for showing that they're true fighters.
And for finishing that double leg lover.
Oh, Teixeira's double leg on Murgliata was sick. Murgliata's probably what the fuck, guy?
Fuck? I know you didn't mean it. I just want you to say you're sorry. And with that, we are going to sign off. For Fight Fuel MMA, I am David Clifford, a.k.a. at Fishy Fridge on Twitter.
And I am Joy at JoyGNY on Twitter.
Get at us with some comments. Tell us what you thought of this video, and we will be back soon with another one for you.
FightFuelMMA.com. Check us out. Like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Do what you gotta do. Show us the love. And we'll see you soon.
No Joe Rogan, no bright lights, no scorpions, and no snake bites. Bitch rap bad niggas get stage fright. Bypass that as your first might fight that so wrong, but you real right. No flow left, you scared to death.